You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
I found it.
All right, we are in the studio. We got Ben joining in. We are I'm gonna make a quick video here for the Patriot Hour. I'm gonna get something out over there, and then we'll be in. All right, we're just gonna give an alert to the Patriot Hour so people join in like we typically do, and then we'll get started here. We got a few things to go over. Again, if you're watching on the Patriot Hour, the link is down below. The only thing that's going to be in the description box is a link. You click that, folks. It's going to bring you right in over here to the Patriot Tech, which is our Patriot Hour 2.0 live feed going on. We got Ben in the studio. We might take a call in. A couple things to go over. So again, join us. Link is down below. All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe here on the Patriot Hour. We got a live feed going on over on the Patriot Tech. Link is down below. Click the link, bring you right into the Patriot Hour Tech. We're doing a live feed. We're gonna have call-ins, taking questions and answers from the Patriots in the that are here following in the live chat. So you can also join the live chat if you have your device. Please join the Patriot Tech. You can type in the Patriot Tech, or the link is down below in the description box. Thank you. See you soon. We're waiting. All right, don't, for those of you here in the Patriot Tech watching, do not take the alert from the Patriot Hour. It might alert your device. There's no need to jump over there to only hit a link to come back here. So you guys are already good. Don't worry about the alert. We're just allowing a few more. We got about 70 in the room. Give us another minute here or so, and we'll jump in. All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Thursday, December 13th, 2018. All right, folks, we got a little live show going here for the Patriot Tech, and we're also simultaneously recording. We'll drop a portion of this on the Patriot Hour, this first part here, and we'll stop the feed and we'll stop the recording. We'll keep doing live for a little while. All right, we got plenty joining in the room. Good morning to everybody all across the world. All right, we are happy to have you here with us, giving us some of your time. We got Ben joining in. Again, folks, tons of big things happening today that we're going to get into a little bit. Again, if you're not subscribed over here to the Patriot Tech, please subscribe. Take a minute to subscribe, like after the video, comment, take a look in the comment section. some of the greatest patriots here around the planet, helping on this truth movement, and we're all part of it. All right, without any further ado, let's get Ben in here. All right.
Good morning to all the Patriots. How we doing this morning, brother?
Good morning, brother.
Yes, super awesome to be in the studio remotely in. Another great morning of truth and trying to shine the light in the darkness this morning.
Yes, we are. Let's see here. All right. Okay. So yeah, no, we had quite a few Q drops last night.
Yeah.
And we went over. I got a video out to go over the updates. Let's make sure here.
I think the last one that I had seen was the stress test. Let's go ahead, and always a good thing to do a little refresher.
Yeah, I got nothing. Make sure I got a desktop up. I do. There we go. So the last one was 2625. So interesting one we'll jump right into right away. And again, last night when I read this, folks, I had said it, but here we go. 2611, is JFK Jr. alive? Now, we're noticing so now on my computer, it is actually a solid line. Can you see that? Oh, I don't have your volume on. There you go. Volume's on.
It's almost it's almost like if you hover over it with your mouse, it'll give you like a little hey, there's no link there. But if you go down to some previous posts, there may
Or the one
be
above.
try going to some earlier posts and seeing if they have it updated, like in the ID part. Maybe down in the earlier ones, they may not have these newer ones quite done yet.
So it
Okay,
did, like that one's
it's more
underlined, but it just says FBI
It tells you what the underline about that essential
classified.
So those underlines kind of give you a more of an informational breakdown of what this particular QMAP pub, the OIG, the Office of Inspector General. So these are kind of informational ones. I don't know, maybe scroll to the most recent ones and see if he maybe, Can't see any more that's underlined like this. California, okay. Federal Reserve, okay. So these look like almost like informational hyperlinks. Almost like when you go to like Wikipedia or something of that nature, and you can go see all this information in certain words, hot words. So here we go.
So when you touch that, it does say John Fitzgerald Kennedy, John Francis Kelly. So a little theory was that people, the thing is JFK Jr. That's what the website here titled this article. Now, again, that doesn't come from Q. That's them trying to categorize or give you, Edward Snowden is a traitor. And then you kind of look at the context in here, and that's what the whole point of the Q post is. They're basically labeling them.
The narrative of it.
Yeah. But, like I said, people were coming up with, well, look, it's underlined JFK. So the question was, is JFK, not Junior, alive? And then we get no. So people would take that, however, that can keep you all wrapped up for another couple months just looking into that, I suspect. We're going to keep pushing forward and
this is
just
another
take it for what it is.
Q&A, question and answer from the Anons, and this is, I believe, the second or third time Q has done this, and whatever goes, blast whatever answers, questions you have in whatever form, and the Q team will answer them as they see fit. So that was the first one. Is JFK Jr. alive? No. So that's pretty straightforward.
All right, let's see here.
We don't know if Again, we're just relaying what's on the what Q has dropped. His little Q drops, his little breadcrumbs.
Messing with this here real quick. See.
Now, we definitely know that disinformation is a tool that has been used in the Q team's arsenal. We don't know. Of course, we all know the Q post very early on that describes you would be amazed or mind blown if you know who's here on the board and posting to you. We have a couple of floating hypotheses, not only on this channel but other channels, of who Q plus or Q0 is. We have our things on that. So
did you see here?
And some people are asking on the top chat, fluid pour, art, bike raid. Put Sharon, Vincent, Fusca. I think we were talking in Garage Talk about that. If you look at the height of John F. JFK Jr. and how tall this Fusca guy is, I think there's some difference. So there's some.
What did
I'm not like a forensic. He asked Sharon on the live chat about Vincent Fusca. He thought, well, JFK Jr. according to Q, is JFK Jr. alive? Q puts no, and then there's Vincent Fusca. There's maybe that question. Vincent Fusca is too short to be junior. Christine Seibel. I agree with you. There was a few videos out there. Mike and I
if you look at Dustin Nemos, his last video I was checking out, I noticed something else in there, but he was at that little conference in DC, folks, and he was right next to Fusca. He had Craig from Just Informed was in the picture, but you had Fusca, and just Dustin Nemos tells you in his video, I'm only 5'10". I'm not short. I'm moderate, average height, I guess. I don't know if the average height for man's like 5'8" or 5'9" anyway, or maybe 5'10", but he says he's either 5'10"ish or 5'11". I'm not sure, but he's the exact height as this Fusca character. This dude's got a hat on too. He always wears that kind of hat, and the top of his hat is just equal to Dustin Nemos. So this guy might only be 5'9", 5'10", or 5'9".
And that's just throwing
numbers.
Yeah, that's just logical thinking. So unless the guy's chopping and shaving his bone structure
and just
shorter,
the overall, and I get it if it's been 20 years or so, but it's like John F. Kennedy Jr., if you look at photos when he was alive, he was kind of a 6'1" and kind of a athletic build, not
a strapping
frail,
man. Yes,
or kind of small, 5'9", really skinny and bone, and so, well, he's going through cancer. I don't know, folks. I'm just logic. Men that are 20 years ago 6'1" and of a certain build, unless there's something medical, they're not shriveling up, and plus shrinking. That's almost impossible. You might lose a inch or so in old age, but I'm not 5-6 inches. Unless you're getting something done. But yeah, so
and again, like we
Vincent
talked about,
Fusca played the role. They're saying, and now his
it,
Twitter page is gone as well. Like, I don't know if something happened. I've heard some tidbits on that too. He finally got really confronted. He was just, I don't think the guy ever came out saying he was JFK. I think people appointed it to him, and then he kind of just never denied it. And could have been a fun little.
Again, one of those, what's the overall thing? Hey, there's a lot of players involved in this particular movement, a lot of channels, a lot of individuals wanting to get the truth out. Some people riding the train, some people are in the engine pushing it forward, keeping it going. And I guess as a train has that front, it's actually a cattle rail to scoop crap off the rails as it's barreling through. That's why I figure this stuff is, It's just the side little eddies we talk about.
Yep.
That if it's true, if it's
That's
not
what we're
true,
trying to.
it's still amazing stuff. But we're pushing for the main, like I said,
Yeah,
tip of
and
the spear.
we're not anybody. There's enough people in this movement that cover other aspects. If people have channels and are all about this one facet, and it's interesting to you, I'm not going to say don't join it. Is it possibly a waste of your time? Maybe, but that's up to you to decide. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, what information exactly? What information that you deem valuable and you want to put forth your effort on? We champion that. That's why there's so many channels out there that have different angles. And again, we just Mike and I and the team here it's almost like you're picking and choosing your battles. Going down eddies takes a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of energy, and so we figured if we just keep our eyes on the prize. And there are some crazy posts that came up, like Mike was saying, we're still going to knock them out. It's just, remember, keeping your eyes on the prize. What is the main objective? What is our main central goal? Is to drain the swamp and get these
I mean, what if
worshiping evil people out?
What if he was alive? It's just oh my gosh, that's so crazy, and I thought he was dead. That is awesome. It's a shock, but it's just like if there was some mission or point, or he comes to be alive and then he's going to run and he's going to be the next president to Trump or run, that'd be awesome. I'd listen to him, maybe vote. But until that time, folks, we got to keep moving forward. And to sit here to dig into something like that can't really be proven, because if it has been playing dead all this time and nobody's known it, then you're not going to know it till they exactly want you to. Everything will be... You're not going to be able, I'm going to dig further and see what I can find on him being alive. You're probably not going to be able to find anything from your couch, computer room, on a computer to verify that without
on the
leaving your
internet
home.
that we know that's controlled. Yeah, 20% is public, 80% non-public. So if if it's not out there,
so we can move. I wanted to that one Q post before it got into all the questions and answers. Was pretty cool.
So yes, we're getting the next one. Should be the which is pretty crazy.
Well, I was going to go over 2604 here. So Huber is a head fake? If so, brilliant, Q. False. Huber will bring severe pain to DC. Sessions forced release of name of Huber to the House, and it created another variable. Use logic.
Load up on the main screen, brother.
All right, let me get these. All right. Yeah, when I'm doing that, get that, let me know a little quicker instead of after 4 or 5 lines. Cut me off or whatever you have to do. And you're not even audioed up right now. There you go.
There it is. Okay, yeah. All right, rock and roll, brother. There you go.
All right. False. Huber will bring severe pain to DC. Sessions forced release of name. So what we were hearing, Sessions forced a release of name of Huber to the House, created another variable. Why would we tell you the plan if in doing so alerts those who are actively engaged in the hunting? You are witnessing firsthand the demise of the power of those in power, the old guard. So we kind of get all this emotions, cloud judgment.
Securing the Senate meant everything. So that was pretty crazy. And of course, now is that SC, is that Supreme Court?
Yeah, because we got a few people. Trump said done 2
and
people
everything. So we have being controlled. Never let someone else drive you. So we go into the question and answering.
So
that's Huber's in it to serve up some pain. So we see very clearly that this is another strategic move to like shine the light in the darkness.
What if there's another prosecutor outside of D.C. assigned by Sessions with the same mandate, authority?
Ooh.
One
Not
for the
long
history
now,
book.
people.
Not long now.
And that was, of course,
So this is set up for today, right? The 13th at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tom Fenton going to be there, Judicial Watch. He's on panel 1. Philip Hackney, Associate Professor of Law, University of Pittsburgh, panel 1. And you got panel 2, this Lawrence Doyle, Managing Partner, DM Income Advisors. You got Mr. John F. Moynihan, Principal, JFM and Associates. So this is to discuss the management of 501c3 nonprofit organizations and how the designation impacts the programs and activities a nonprofit is allowed to conduct.
Now, this is huge because there's a lot of 501c3s out there, and everything from churches to foundations to organizations to your local, American Legions. They're a 501c3, disabled
Churches.
veterans, anything that's anything that's tax exempt. So this is going to be a definitely interesting hearing on a blanketing of all 501c3s. And there's different subcategories in the 501c3, and it tell you there what it blanketly goes over. But just think to yourself, they're not non-profit or not for-profit organizations. Just remember that.
Maybe Huber testified privately, no press. Maybe. I don't know at this point. His whole investigation's been private, and that's how investigations are ran. You would think on some of this forefront stuff, it would be for the public at this point. But yeah, there hasn't. I don't know. So this Paul Ceron was another link from the Q. It was pretty good. One, a QAnon thread about U.S. Attorney John Huber and the explosive prosecution effort he is heading alongside DOG IG Horowitz. In scope and size, it is said to be the biggest in history. This guy goes over tons of, I'd like to begin with drop 60 from earliest 17. Please pay attention to the vital specs of the storm, its secrecy, and the compartmentalization of intel. Less than 10 people have the full picture. This guy just breaks down lots of posts that go over different things. How do you capture a very dangerous animal? Do you attack it from the front? Do you walk through the front door?
Do you signal ahead of time you'll be attacking? I mean, this is...
So it's all very logical. House of Cards, 12 deals rejected today alone. So this tells a pretty good story. This guy lined it all up pretty good.
He does a very good job for sure.
So goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein still overseeing the special counsel?
Well, the Supreme, geez.
So scheduled for tomorrow. Where is Huber? Nobody is above the law. So where is Huber? Because I know he was supposed to set forth to testify on the 5th. That didn't happen because of the, and now we don't have any kind of reschedule. I thought they rescheduled this, but he's not there now, and kind of odd.
You have it in his closed door. No, none of that. It's the pushback. It's the old delay and pushback game.
So do we think this hearing, this oversight of nonprofit, a case study, hearing date, is this possibly going to be on TV? If so, I might do a live stream for the channel here, folks.
Yeah, Fenton at Judicial Watch, he's been slated for the Clinton emails as well. So what they're doing out there in Judicial Watch is an awesome thing, and give those guys lots of props. So
yeah, right here.
Tom Fenton's going to be definitely getting something. Sure.
Yep, he's on the little list, panel 1, folks.
So I'm sure he will be Judicial Watch will be getting something out, and they'll be explaining what they can. So look forward to that for sure.
So again, do you think all these attacks on Q, we the people, is simply for like a single person on the internet who they labeled a conspiracy? Is that what we think? see, make sure. This thing's huge. All right, let's see here. All right, got your mic on. All right, so we have
Nice, there you
POTUS,
go.
a couple of tweets. Couple.
There's a couple.
So today at 8:39, 8:34, 8:25, 8:17, 7:38.
He's pretty busy.
I often stated one way or the other, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. This has never changed. Our new deal with Mexico and Canada, the USMCA, United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, is so much better than the old, very costly and anti-USA NAFTA deal that just by the money we save, Mexico is paying for the wall. Genius.
This is the old, I'm going to put it on sale and say it's 50% off, but I'm going to raise the cost by 50%. So you have no idea, but you're still going to pay the difference, here, buddy.
Go ahead and read this one.
I never directed Michael Cohen to break the law. He was a lawyer, and he is supposed to know the law.
This is what I
It
said.
is called, yes, it is called advice of counsel.
He
And
must
a
be
lawyer
listening to the
has
show.
great liability if a mistake is made. This is why they get paid. Despite that, many campaign finance lawyers have strongly.
Let me see if I get the
And then he
next
goes
one.
on
up
to say,
here.
but yes. This is hilarious. Yes, this is hilarious. Stated that I did nothing wrong with respect to campaign finance laws, if they even apply, because it was not a campaign finance. Cohen was guilty of many charges unrelated to me, but he pled to 2 campaign charges, which were not criminal, and of which he probably was not. We'll go to the next one here. Not guilty, even on a civil basis. Those charges were just agreed to him by in order to embarrass the president and get much reduced prison sentence, which he did, including the fact that his family was temporarily let off the hook. As a lawyer, Michael, his great liability to me, Donald J. Trump.
Wow.
Man. So that's what you're saying earlier. This is what a lawyer does. They are counsel. You say, "Hey, I'm doing this. Can I do this?" No, sir. This is breaking the law. Well, then you do it for me.
Yeah.
No, that's breaking the law.
I can't go to a lawyer right now today and say there's 5 or 6 things that I kind of want done around town, but I don't want to do them because I know myself that they're wrong. And
Or at least I
but
think they're
I'm going
wrong.
to pay you a couple $100 and you go do it for me. And he's going to tell me no. I advise that's against the law. I know the law because I studied it. And no, if he does that's pretty dumb. So this whole point, everyone's like, he works at the direction of Trump, and it's just like,
Well, some people who, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. Being ignorant is not a blast on anybody personally. It's just lack of knowledge. So if you don't understand how a lawyer works or the retaining the lawyer-client confidentiality and how all that works, then maybe do a little bit of research. I know we were talking to a couple of individuals on the social false media, and a couple of commenters were saying, and I think one in particular it was directed at Michael almost personally. It was like, Michael, lawyers are your employee. And I'm thinking, no, lawyers aren't your employee. You're not their boss.
just because you pay them.
Just because you're paying them, it's counsel.
Pervading
it's a whole
for
different-
service.
Yes.
It's like anywhere else. You go to McDonald's and order a burger because you pay the cashier. You don't own the place.
Hey, you're fired. I don't like how you're handling
you're
my
fired.
money.
Give me my
You're
stuff
not my
for
boss.
free. So, folks, put it into perspective. Anytime
Yes.
that any of you have gone to a lawyer, you paid them, and then they're for what? Why are you paying them? To work for you?
To interpret the law, to
I
counsel
mean, you can use that.
you on
My
the
lawyer's
law.
working for me. Like, that kind of lingo means, yeah, he's out there doing things to benefit you and help you, but doesn't, he is working for you, like, on your behalf. But They recommend things. They know the law. That's why you go to them to get guidance, counsel, put in the right direction. Now, we know there's sleazebag lawyers. We've all seen, Better Call Saul and people like that. And again, if you watch that show, he's around all these criminals and he's still guiding them. And he might be a criminal himself, but he's smart enough to tell them how to do things to where they're like, oh.
So the law said, yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, people, paying somebody and being legally represented is night and day, two different even games. You're talking two different universes. So let's move on. What was the next one after that one? Because that was pretty self-explanatory when we talked with Trump's trying to say that obviously we're kind of moving on from that as well. Because Chani Lucero Venati equals sleaze bag. Yeah, there you go. What a great example of what a sleazebag individual will do, profit from the client, wanting to do something, all for personal gain. It's quite obvious.
She is pretty upset. She has come out and said that she didn't even want to do this lawsuit of defamation of character because it was Trump's tweet that said something. It showed a picture or something, and like, that's what started. Michael Avenatti's like, we're going to take him and win. And she's like, she's saying now that he filed this on without her, like not even without her behalf, like just did it and told her like, we're filing. And she's like, I don't really think we should. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to win. Now they lost. She owes $280,000. And she's just pissed at Michael Avenatti. And then they had Michael Avenatti on, and he goes, "Wait, Trump owes us $14 million. So if you take away this $200,000 or something, that he owes us this amount." And they're like, "Well, that's all based on another court case that they have, and if they win, which they just lost this one. So if the next one goes anything like this one, this guy."
Entertainment, folks. You learn to decipher entertainment from truth. So what do we got here?
So we got get these off. So who are the wizards and warlocks we've heard of? That's the Guardians of Intelligence. Gitmo, U.S. citizens. It says three different places are being prepped.
Wow. Okay.
Doesn't say
Monitor
no to
funding.
Gitmo either. Doesn't say
Yeah.
no. So the whole California voter fraud, yes, watch California. It was deliberate out there. So who did we have? Is it Chris Stockton?
Yes, he's out in the NorCal area, away from California. So
Kind of getting all involved in that. So here we go. Here's a big one. Q, should we be prepping for some kind of shutdown? No. Reports of power grid attacks and 6 months of prepping should be disregarded. While attacks do occur, we are safeguarded by a black eye. It's crazy. So,
black eye, that's interesting. But yeah, the prepping. I know there's been a lot of rumblings, a lot of other individuals, which we're not knocking that. Mike and I and the Patriot Hour, we always promote preparing for the worst.
can't be wrong having
Hoping for the best. Hey, that's just prudent thinking. That's just prudent planning.
Well, like I said, even with
in.
that, I'm not running down to where I have things and throwing anything out. You know, we already have things, and
I think if you're watching or you're definitely subscribed to the channel, you're a kind of person that's going to have a little bit of extra saved for an emergency purposes. Hey, we all know the power goes out. Well, a couple days, 2 or 3 days. We all know that sometimes a snowstorm, ice storm, you have natural disasters. So we always promote keeping rations for you and your family, little things on hand. We're always promoting that. But should you go down and prepare for 6 months worth of food, water, that kind of stuff? A lot of people can't afford that. That type of to build up your inventory for long-lasting food, that's expensive, and a lot of people can't handle that, and try something different. But the whole thing is going to be shut down, no power, 6 months. Those are some old reports that were a case study reports that were basically about if the power grid does go down at certain areas, just like they've had case study reports if a plane hits the Twin Towers. We saw those reports in the 80s. What would happen? So do we know something's coming from this post? It's, he's kind of saying nope, safeguards, but the black eye is interesting. That's an interesting thing. I'm unaware of that. If any of the
It's a satellite, right? Or they call it
well, the black eye, I automatically thought about all those pictures of all these people that started coming to the news, black eyes. Like,
yeah.
remember that
I'm
long
hearing
time
that.
ago? I don't know.
Remember that the Black Knight, the photos of that like 1,300-year-old alien satellite that has been pictured up in space, or
Just
I've seen
like
photos
a shard
of it.
or something.
Yeah,
it's
it looks like a
long,
shard,
weird
like an
looking
old school.
thing, like a diamond rom or something like that shape.
I think that's called the Black Knight satellite conspiracy. All right, so So black eye.
Shooter.
I did want to talk a little bit about the border wall, because it was very, very interesting, folks. We had
Oh yes, that's true.
we had the other day with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer sitting in the with President Trump. He did that on purpose. They were coming over to have a meeting. He only invited the top two head Democrats, and then he had him and Pence in there. And then at the last minute, he opened it up to the media. They were really baffled and taken by surprise, but he wanted it to be open and let the world see, expose them for their anti-safety of our border, our country. So that was very interesting. They were all more guised about having a shutdown and making sure Trump was gonna be at blame for the shutdown, and he owned it really quickly. But if it happens, whatever, sure, I'll shut her down for the old border safety. But they brought up some facts. I was listening to talk radio this morning, and like Israel, their border works really well. It keeps out terrorists, they said, all these great things. And everyone uses that. Even the leftists will use it, how it works for them. But over here it'd be different. We don't really need it, So they're asking us to suspend logic, like how do you get the border? They're saying we need border security. We need lots of border security and but just not a wall. Suspend logic. They want us to suspend our logic to follow like Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer. And the raw fact of it is, folks, even, I guess there's some of the people that came up from Honduras, made it to the Mexican border, and now they've all turned around. They are seeking reparations from the United States for not letting us in. For us not letting them in. They're saying that we're not very welcoming. There's other people spewing that live in this country. We're not we let in 20% out of 100% of immigration around the world. The United States alone lets in 20% of there's 80% left, but we do 20 alone. It's more than any other country every year. I think we're over 1 million and something a year that we let in legally. We're very compassionate. The people that want to come in illegally are, like they say, causing, it costs about $70,000 per illegal a year, or that's tons of Americans don't even make that a year. But that's the cost.
Very true.
So, folks, it's getting to an all-time peak of, and I think the biggest thing that these, for some reason, they don't want to talk about, you never really hear it. Trump will tweet about it. Other people will say it in interviews. But when you have the people all sitting there, you never hear them pointing at them about, what about the drugs or what about the human trafficking? They just keep it on that talk of people coming and going. People should be able to come and go. And we need to have border for this. It can stop that. And we should just have a lot more people, a lot more eyes, and it's almost like, you know, they still want the aspect of people being able to sneak in and out. The Democrats, it seems like for some reason they're
I
so
would agree.
it just seems like they want that flow no matter what, because we know that these people showing up and we want to stop separations. What if we find, and nobody ever says, well, what if we like 1 in 4, Chuck, or whatever, 1 out of, 7 out of 9, the kids don't match up with the parents. We think they're being human trafficked right then and there. Well, then,
Right.
law would cause for you to separate them to find the parent for that kid. So no, we should just throw them in a tank together. The kid that we found with the human trafficker that's trying to smuggle him out of Mexico and bring him to the States and be sold or whatever. I mean, they don't hit these topics that are huge. And I don't know if that's a guise as well. I mean, even as Trump, you'd think he'd just spit that out there. I mean, I would. I'd be hitting him up on that all day long.
Yeah, no, again, we see that as it could be a very powerful, social arguing tool. And it is interesting because all you do hear the news saying is that Trump is separating families. But the problem is most people are assuming, just because they're coming from the South, they're automatically
just because a guy's holding a little kid's hand doesn't make him his dad.
Doesn't mean it's yes. Do you guys ever remember Stranger Danger? Okay, well then why isn't that still around now? Is this your dad? Excuse me. And that's not happening. That's like, oh, well, who knows? Then where do the kids go? I mean, I can understand that there's an argument being made that the kids coming across the border are not with their families, and what do we do? There's a case to be made. There's something funding that we could be doing for the children. But to make the case that Trump is pulling families apart, that is such an obtuse, narrow-minded way of thinking of things, not even knowing all the facts at hand. So when you say that, when people are saying that, it's more along the lines of, where's your evidence? Well, yeah, I heard it. Okay, well, we got into that one before, and that's the basis of your opinion.
All right.
See some of those other ones as well. Yeah, I would agree with you guys. I'm DJ says connect the dots, and that's what we say a lot as well. You kind of have to. This is so much information for one person, for a small team. We need this army of you guys to connect the dots, and if we're not connecting them or we're reading it a certain way, always drop information down below.
Yeah, I would get this going here. I would say if you guys vote somebody in and then the next thing they're doing is sitting up on stage talking to you about you don't need this, I mean, opposite of the Constitution, that's not correct. That's a little something fishy there going on, right?
Yeah, and if you think it's opposite of the Constitution or you don't know, you've never heard that, why don't you read the Constitution?
Yeah.
That's probably the best way. Wow.
I voted them in. They're up on stage talking about how I don't need my gun, but they got protection and security all around them with guns, but they think they're not a citizen anymore. They're above it. They need protection, but we don't. That's what really blows my mind. I don't listen to people like that.
Elitist syndrome.
Yeah. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
And that's a bad way when you got a hungry bear looking to eat.
Yes. Just remember, folks, keep your armor of God on, belt of truth. Stand firm in your truth, and you're never going to be wrong. That's what it's really, truly about. Wow. Use your logic, and you can't typically be wrong.
So just a little side note here. We were talking about this. Rita Parker posts, South Pole technicians are dead after Q posted pics of South Pole workers holding Q sign. And there is a link, and they said the link was safe. They clicked it. That's wow. Because we were just talking about the...
You just clicked it, you said?
There have been some other individuals here in the top chat who clicked it and said it was safe. I believe, who said it was safe? Yeah, Ellie. Elle said it was safe. She checked it. She clicked it. You can post it. Let me go ahead and click it up myself right here before you get into it. It's a WGN. Okay, it's a WG.
All right, so we got technicians killed at Antarctica's McMurdo Station, Foundation says.
Let's go ahead and pull
Two
up that
U.S.
Q
government,
post.
some contractor employees at Antarctica's McMurdo Station died Wednesday while performing maintenance at a generator building, the National Science Foundation said. A helicopter pilot had landed near the building, which powers a radio transmitter near the station, after seeing smoke coming from the structure, the foundation said. Inside the building, the pilot found the two workers unconscious. Medical personnel from the clinic at McMurdo pronounced one of the workers dead at the scene, while another one was pronounced dead after being flown to the clinic. So the employees were fire technicians who were performing preventative maintenance on the building's fire suppression system.
Whoa.
Arlington, Virginia-based PAE employed into technicians. PAE is a subcontractor to Leidos, which bills itself as a prime contractor of the National Science Foundation's U.S. Antarctic program. So there we go. That's his contract. Because we were debating on whether it was military or some kind of base up there, but it's part of the geographic.
Yeah.
It's a subcontract article or group there. Wow. So now, so we're saying that the people that took the picture are the ones that have died, or is that just a?
So if you pull up the Q post that actually gave the picture of, there was, I believe, two individuals. They were standing in front of the main sign. That was, the sign said it was the geographical South Pole, and it had the guy we were talking. He was on his knees and he was holding up the sign like this, and it says where we go one, we go all, and it says Q. And it had another person. You can see the shadow actually taking the picture.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Well, that
my question
right
was
is
how
that even real? Yeah, you can. How do we know that?
We know, so are we assuming that this guy right here and then the guy taking the picture of the two that died? Is that what people are saying?
That's kind of, it's a stretch.
Well, no, I mean,
I think that's what some of the people, not in the chat room, they just thought, hey, this article says that two people at this particular facility just died we just read the article. So I thought that was interesting. So going on to that picture, it shows a couple of people.
Let me get this open here. All right. Would I lose my? All right, there.
So that's very interesting.
So what's the common, is that what people are thinking?
Well, that article that you just read says that two people died in the facility in this picture just a couple of days ago.
No, it didn't say, that article didn't say nothing about this picture. No,
that facility, the geographics that facility in the picture, not the picture itself, but the actual article, the Antarctic facility. There it is, a government, McMurdo Station. So is that the McMurdo Station in the picture, that Q? Does it say McMurdo Station on that sign anywhere? I don't know. That's what this is kind of, we don't know. Ronald,
Doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that, yeah. I don't know if that's the McMurdo Station.
Now this article says something about
two U.S. government subcontract employees.
This place looks a lot different. Look at the picture they're showing.
Who knows? Mm-hmm.
So technicians killed at Antarctica McMurdo Station.
So who knows where that picture was taken, the different angles. Was he at the far building and he was I again, this was just something that was breaking news that we're just kind of going over and seeing if there is a connection. Just interesting. 2 technicians were killed. I don't know if there's a coincidence that the Q team posted that picture of an geographical South Pole, and it says where we go when we go all, and then a couple days later, technicians killed. Is it a coincidence? Is it interesting? Definitely. I agree with you, Rita Parker. I thought it was a weird thing as well. South Pole pick from Q, and then 2 die. Interesting. I would agree. That's. I don't. Is there a connection? I don't know. It's just interesting. We don't really get much information in the picture that Q posted out, unless you can, I guess, go to some type of Google Earth and go to that kind of view and really do it. But maybe you guys do a little bit of research yourself and see where that building looks like, and see if you can't find that sign, the geographical South Pole, and see if that facility matches up with the other facility. I mean, that would be a great Patriot Hour homework.
I mean, you look at this photo here, you kind of think that these guys are out in the middle of nowhere, of course, right?
And the
South Pole
sign kind of tells us where it looks like from the star on the sign.
It looks like this is the only thing where they're at, but again, there could be all kinds of stuff on the other side of this snow mountain,
or
over
behind
here.
them, or to the left of them, or to the right of them. We don't know.
You go to this photo here that they linked in the article, and that looks like all kinds of things.
So yeah, we don't know.
And then the helicopter pilot landed near the building, which powers a radio transmitter near the station. I don't see.
Yeah, again, that picture that Q posted,
I don't see any kind of towers or anything for a helicopter to get messed up on over here. Looks like they can land right on the building and be okay. So I don't know.
And again, we don't know either. We agree with you guys. It's very interesting. This you pulled it up, we covered it. That would be something for you guys. Maybe go over in your own time and see.
Yeah, keep pushing forward. Drop us
forward. Yes.
Anything that
digging. So good. We got a little something for our subscribers and our watchers, and it's a good little homework for you guys.
Keep losing my live feed. So what are you talking about, Danielle? The picture of 2 guys that Q posted. We already had that up, the 2 pictures of what Q posted. Well, it's one guy. There's a guy taking a picture. It's on the screen right now. There's a shadow of the guy taking the picture. And I don't know if that is linked or not, folks. Let me see here. That sign doesn't tell us much. Well, there is a name on it, Ronald Edmundson. So let me.
Well, if you see where that star is on that picture of Antarctica, yeah.
What now? Where's the star at?
Look at the sign. So if it shows you the little picture,
that's the dead center of Antarctica, which is
or is it the geographic South Pole? Yeah, so that's probably where they're at, since there's a big old pole right in front of the guy. So that's there you go. That's there. But again, yeah, we don't know. That doesn't look like there's a lot around it, although we don't know what's behind it, around it.
So I just typed in what's on that sign, and actually this sign comes up. There it is.
That's an older
now look at
sign,
behind that sign. There is, like,
I don't know what's behind it.
Nothing.
Signs, yeah.
Well, look on the sides here. I just see snow to skyline.
Yep, that seems.
You see any buildings or?
I don't see nothing. I see a little pop out to the left, but nothing really much. I mean, yeah. What does the other sign say?
Why don't they get anything more? There's a building. There's maybe that same building.
Okay, looks like the same window structure. kind of looks like the same kind of building that we're looking at, but again, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
let us know if you
indeed. There
guys
we go.
know. Okay, well, that looks like the same kind of building that's in the picture, and that looks like the new updated geographic South Pole sign.
So that could very well, I mean, behind this could be all that stuff in the photo from that article.
Yeah, you
I'm
can always
not
type in
disputing, but this is what they
McMurdo
show us here.
and see what other pictures pull up for McMurdo on Google. Maybe there's I know that's a nice aerial shot.
I'm trying to see where the one building is that we keep seeing with the little smokestack, and it could be one of these way down here. I don't know.
Try typing in
There it
the
is. Look,
McMurdo.
look, finally.
There you go.
Look to the left.
Okay, so there's a lot more. Okay, there's more stuff over there. We don't know.
Well, now I'm starting to see some.
Now this was taken a while ago because that sign is an older version of the sign we were just looking at. But the building that's behind it looks to be new. But there's a lot other buildings around there, silos and
Some silos and kind of like what is shown in that photo. Because there's all these bigger silos here. Why can't I look at that picture proper? Desktop. There.
Now, Chani Lucero on Top Chat has a pretty good little link there.
So, that's crazy. Oh. Yeah, check this out, folks. This is from last summer. I finally got this.
Oh, was this from your phone? You got it off
Yeah.
there. Okay, it's completely different subject. We're switching gears. For
Yeah,
a hot
switching
second here.
gears.
Switching gears. We
So, look above this tree line here. This is above my house. And you're going to see these dots. I got my mouse on one. Let me, I can make this bigger
hit that
as well.
play. Oh, okay, there you go.
All right. Hold on. How was I doing this? Last night.
So those crazy flickering lights and it's crazy.
Zoom to fill. All right, got it. I gotta get a desktop capture. 2 maybe? Nope. Nope. All right.
See those little lights right there?
And the camera's not moving. It's in a stationary spot.
It's crazy.
Try
Just
again.
blinking lights in the sky.
I just turned your resolution way up.
Nice. Yeah, that's crazy.
You seen them?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of blinking lights.
It
like
started
little
off with
dancing lights.
just one that we were
One
all
or
focused
two,
in on
yeah.
hovering, and then it just next thing you know there was 50, 60. So these are these little orbs. I swear this is what I saw with my eyes. My daughter pointed it out.
And you were able to get it off.
I'll show you that. You can see the edge of the tree here. And we don't really move away from this area. We just kind of zoom in a little bit, and it's all taking place right here. So those
How do
things
you-
were
yeah,
doing
well, that's
circles. They were doing
definitely-
maneuvers that they weren't moving.
At least the physics that they were teaching us in university level, that doesn't fit with the models.
So I meant to show you guys that last night. I don't know. No, see, UFO, that, yeah, definitely unidentified flying object. That's what a UFO stands for. Unidentified flying object.
Or you could go so far to say is unidentified aerial event. I mean, well, how do you are those flying, hovering? Who knows? So that's very interesting. They're all watch out for the men in black, dude. Oh yeah.
So watch it.
Just
one
was
more time here.
interesting. One more time. Wow. And there's actually a pattern to some of the blinkingness.
Oh yes, dude.
There's not like just random blinking.
I was going frame by frame with it, which is cool. Pause. I mean, just from frame.
There's just
Now
like
look down here at the
geometric
bottom. I think
shape.
there's a bird. See this black thing?
Mm-hmm.
That was a bird that flew in. Or maybe a bug, just close enough to the... I don't know, that black thing was up with all these, and then it kind of dropped.
Definitely crazy, folks. I mean, always interesting.
So if you watch like this
I
one
would
up
agree.
here, and the next frame it's up here, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it
There
drops.
it is.
Or it went up. Back.
Some are brighter than others. I mean, there's definitely geometric patterns all over in there. So that's unexplained. I personally cannot explain that. So I would agree with you guys as well. Many people missed so much things by not looking up and looking at the sun, moon, and stars.
So that was my own personal, that blew my mind, folks. I didn't know what I was looking at. Now I've seen things like that on the internet. Tons of other people claim to have seen the same thing, so I don't think they're nuts anymore. I seen it with my own eyes. I couldn't explain it. To me, it looked like light orbs. My far-fetched to believe that the government's now playing with light things. I don't know. You can call it a UFO. I'll call it a UFO. I don't know what I saw. It was unidentified, and it was flying, I think, flying in the air. They're definitely hovering around and doing weird maneuvers. Tons of them. So, drop a comment on that. And I'm going to stop the Patriot Hour. We got an hour here, so thanks for joining us on the Patriot Hour. We'll
Yes.
see you. Ben was here. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. We'll see you back here on the next episode of the Patriot Hour.
Yes, thank you. God bless all for sure. And nice little ender there with some unique video, a little bit of home video, and just some little tidbit to give you guys that look at. We're not only researching into what's happening on a political level, we research every type of rabbit hole, and that's why we're pretty focused on the main tip of the spear right now.
Exactly. All right, Patriot Hour's over. We're still doing the live stream. All right, folks, why don't we take a 5-minute? I'll put a little something on. We'll come back. Maybe take a call in or something. What time is it? 10:50? If somebody's wanting to call in, we'll possibly do that. But, yeah, let's take a small minute. I'll put a video up here, and we'll come back in and go a little longer, and then we'll wrap this up. I wanted to look in when we get back if that's going to be a public hearing today with Fenton up on the Clinton Foundation stuff? And if so,
Yes.
I'm not opposed to having a live stream go on. You guys can chit chat while that's playing or something. I'd have to look into that. So, all right, give me a minute here. Pull up. All right. We're back. Just waiting on Ben. He'll be back with us here in a minute. Still got down to 62 in the room. That's all right. That's perfect. A couple of articles here we'll go over. Let me look here. All right, so I was just reading this yesterday. Some of these cities now around the country, you guys have probably heard about it. You can order drive-in food from untypical places, kind of like Taco Bell or McDonald's. I guess anything that you would want. Typically, pizza places deliver. Maybe Jimmy John's, some of these places that you heard of, but there's other places that people like that you have to drive to. And we're seeing that here, Uber Eats. So Uber has now gotten into, instead of picking you up, they can pick up food and bring it to you. Man orders, I think Chinese, and he finds soiled underwear in the food order. So a Florida man.
Ooh, I'm feeling hungry already.
That is rough. All right, we got Ben back with us. Yeah, a man in Florida was shocked to find an unappetizing addition to a recent Uber Eats delivery, opening his dinner order to find a pair of soiled underwear alongside his food. A man only going by the name of Leo was expecting a delivery of Chinese food from a nearby restaurant, but also received a unsolicited side order. Disgusting, unhealthful. It's potentially deadly, said Leo, who was visiting Miami for an art convention. What do you do if you find this in your food? He might have mistaken it for a fancy napkin. I mean, folks, what the heck?
Do not wipe your mouth with that fancy napkin with the elastiband around it. It's not a good
Double
idea.
dang yucky. All right.
Oh,
It's definitely the back end cream of some young guy.
Ay.
Man's that is just pretty gross, folks.
Be careful of Uber Eats. Maybe you need to go off the couch and go to the store yourself and get something, see it, and
they're not doing the background checks on these, people that traditionally haven't been able to do much or get a job. Next thing you know, I'm going to be an Uber driver. And now they're in charge of handling your food. Do they know all the safety procedures? I mean, I guess you sign up with Uber and they send you that little cold bag and then you're good to go.
Well, you got to take a 2-hour online food handler's
safety course
tutorial video. Now, they don't tell you have to actually be awake to watch it as long as you just, no, a poo-poo platter. You're right.
Well, it's like you said, they show the Uber guy in their little infomercial that they're showing all the Uber people. They made a pretty good video, but, now don't ever, if you have to use the restroom, open up this Uber bag and just, pouch over it and take one. That's a no-no in our company.
Food goes
okay,
there,
mental
not
no,
human
I won't
waste.
do that. I mean, this is just etiquette. People know. Mostly everybody's bought food for themselves, handle it in the proper way, put it in the seat and get home. So something happened here. Either, I don't know.
Well, it just goes to show you, people, if you're not aware of your surroundings and not in tune, you're going to get
It's just a
very
shitty
fancy,
situation. So again,
with a poo napkin to wipe it.
have you ever been at the drive-through with maybe a irregular friend throughout your lifetime? He says what he wants. He looks at you. What do you want? You tell him. He's got to tell them. The people there are like, oh wait, that. They're getting all confused, and then he's getting mad at them. Like, listen here, jerk. I said I want this, and that, and you're like, man, don't do that. You're gonna spit in your food or something. So it's dangerous to play those games. So if this Uber thing, do you just call in yourself to the Uber and say, I want Taco Bell, this is what I want? Now they got to go to Taco Bell. Do they got to call the Chinese restaurant? Now you're relying on this other person to make that order, or are you doing all that? It'd probably be too complicated for you to call the Chinese restaurant, then call the Uber, tell them that you're not wanting a ride, but you're wanting him to get the food. So is it an all-in-one thing on the Uber app now? I'm hungry. You hit this. People are bidding on that job to get the food for you. And who makes, once you accept the job as Uber driver, now your other part is to call that place, get your food going. And if it's like a Taco Bell, you're not calling. You're going to go, either get out of your car, go in, or he's going to pull the stunt at the, and how does he act? So there's a lot of variables.
Hands close to the food you're putting in your mouth. I'm just, either make Chinese at home yourself.
Without the undies.
With none of the fancy napkins.
Make them in your undies. Make your own food in your undies, not possibly
eating undies.
Yeah, that's weird, folks. That's weird. Should be a law against that.
It's funny.
So that was just a side little thing I wanted to bring up.
A little something to break up the seriousness, and we were getting pretty deep, and we just had to pull it out there, a little garage talk for you. That was a little laughing piece to talk about. Now, what's happening?
I think it's online via Uber. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got it all dialed in, folks, on how they. I'm sure that guy did not order underwear, so
pretty obvious.
Positive.
All right. So besides the dirty underwear in the news, I think where did we leave off on the Q post?
Yeah, we pretty much got through them all.
Mm-hmm.
Last one was and stress test failed.
So let's for funds for the viewers. Can you pull up a video on a scientific stress test? Because I don't know if maybe a lot of
it's labeled
or we
here.
don't know.
It's labeled here. Let me see. Get your mic back on. 8chan infrastructure stress test failed. So were you wanting to look at a stress test on?
No, I guess not that with the 8chan. I guess with the board was hit and they had a bunch of stress failed, but it was so it was good. The infrastructure was up. It passed this. I guess Again, that's the 8chan. That's just this the Q the Q map. This is what they're labeling it as. Like all the other posts we have. So it was interesting. We were looking at it says /end. I was just curious. I think we were talking in Garage Talk earlier of I don't really see a / start date. Maybe you know what I'm saying, like an earlier Q post. Like, oh, okay, this is when the stress test started. Or let me try looking up here. Let's see if that brings up anything. I don't know. What are you thinking? I don't think I can see anything.
I was going to play this again just to take a look. So this is the Chicago.
I've had a team of 7 pastry employees that have been working night and day for about 2 months, piece by piece, brick by brick, putting the gingerbread elevator
it's interesting
together.
too. This whole video is about bakers.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that have been coming into my mind, folks. So here's this main elevator at the Chicago Trump Tower. They made almost, you could say, it looks like bricks.
A little gingerbread looking
brick
opening.
wall.
And, brick wall, you should say, real high and
I've had
tall.
a team of 7 pastry employees that have been working
Q.
night and day for about
There is a
piece by
a single. Somebody made another notation in this jar up here. It's a single. What was it? What was Hillary's Secret Service name?
Oh, I know Timberwolf was George H.W. Hers was
Hillary
hers
Clinton.
Alice? Because hers Alice in Wonderland was hers Alice, and the other one was a Mad Hatter, and she was Alice, maybe.
Somebody might know it out there. Evergreen. There's an evergreen in this.
Evergreen.
There's a single evergreen in this jar.
Ooh. Someone's getting locked up.
So this
Put in a jar.
picture of Santa up here with the hammer, and then it's also signed by QA.
months, piece by piece, brick by brick, putting the gingerbread
Crumb by
elevator
crumb,
together.
brick by brick, month by month.
My sous chef,
There's a frog,
Marie,
Pepe,
has really spearheaded this
on her
project.
shirt.
It was a big project.
So there's a
and
lot of
project, Kind of
things.
a labor of love. I designed it at home, just like kind of sketching and going from there. And we made a brick baking schedule where everyone had to bake
A lot of
gingerbread
brick
every day
bakers
for
breaking
the last 2
crumbs.
months. And we put 1,200 bricks into the elevator, and that
1,200
included
bricks.
like over 400
1,200.
pounds of flour, sugar, brown sugar,
I bet that smells good.
molasses, spices like crazy. It smells absolutely amazing in the elevator. You know, you step into this gingerbread house and it's filled with candy, and you can tell that it's real because you can touch the walls and you can see that there's real cookies on the walls. And for the whole thing to be there and to have the music on and the snow falling in the background, and when the doors close, you just have like kind of a moment of being transported into somewhere else.
The Gingerbread Express is kind of like the Q train, the Trump train.
So let me look
Evergreen in the jar.
up. Let me look up Clinton hearing. Clinton.
Was it Evergreen, you said?
I think that's what I just found out. Hearing. Live on TV.
2 drops. Ooh. So I just typed in the search engine Evergreen on the Q map, and there's there's a couple of posts. Let me see here. We have 1279 came 26th April of this year. Frustration is very high. He says we have it all. The right of people have the information. Good people are acting on information. Goes down codes. Gmail confirms. And then it says define evergreen. When do you call a plumber? Ongoing investigations. And then of course on top of that, 2503 on 29th of November of this year. Photo of Evergreen, USS HRC code name at Hyatt Regency. That's interesting. So there's a big picture of an evergreen. There you go.
Oh wow.
So and that
We
has
know.
that number in though. Now if you go down to the other post that you're just right there at the very bottom, look at that code. Is that code the same? Authorization 47. Oh no, it's a different code. Okay, I didn't know if it was going to match. See, there's a different Q. Then there's an authorization in the brackets. Now that one's a different one, and I wonder under that Christmas tree.
What do you call plumber when you have a leak? So it's just these two.
The Secret Service's code name, so it's Evergreen. I just pulled it up. Is it interesting? What is that? We have it all. Game
EG
forum
Evergreen.
comms. EG define Evergreen.
The Gmail comms is the way they were communicating folks without ever sending. They were just logging in, creating a draft.
They're also doing, I think, PlayStation or Xbox comms as well, game forum comms.
This is the only reason Hillary never went down, is because it would go all the way back to Obama. All right, so if... All right, now I did find this. There is going to be a live stream.
We listen to each other, and over the years, I've been blessed to have the chance.
Hearings today. So they're already in there. It's already live. It's not scheduled for 2 o'clock.
Senator Flate rightly recognizes that we need to get...
So we'll definitely probably have that up and streaming for those of you that want to join in and chit chat with each other and kind of listen to the Clinton Foundation hearing today that kicks off.
Should be some good information, and at least some questions that we've all been wanting to ask, I believe, are going to be asked in this particular hearing.
Here's a good one. Read that one, Ben.
Administration gave $150 billion to our enemy Iran, exporter of terrorism. They chant death to America, but the Democrats can't give Trump to the U.S. citizens $5 billion for the wall.
So the Democrats can't give Trump and the U.S. citizens $5 billion, but they'll give 150 to
$50 billion to the Iran, to their enemy. I mean, this is, you think about this, people. So just a little fun thing. This is why we enjoy that Q map. The creators of that that place they've done a really good job. Good search. It's a good search engine. Within that, it does a really good job of highlighting what you're looking for. You can see early on some of the viewers that have been with us or been with the Patriot Hour for a long time, almost from the beginning. You can tell we've kind of switched over from the original Q drop search engine that was gathering them to one place to this Q map. It's a little bit more GUI friendly front end. It's a little more user friendly, and they have in my opinion, it's a lot better done for the information. So it's something we definitely like it as well. Yes, Woods Dweller, 2 p.m. That's when they're going to be actually starting the hearings. Of course, the news they're going to be streaming it all the way up until they're going to be building this thing up. This is some big dealings here.
There's almost always something going on Congress, folks. So there's normally a live stream in their, I believe, Twitter. Close. All right, let me look for some other breaking news stories here to jump into.
And then we'll probably, again, later on, we'll see if you want to stream that hearing for sure. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I'll probably cut this feed off and start it back up around 1:30 or something. 1:45.
Yeah, perfect. Hop in there. Tracy Monahan, C-SPAN channel. Yeah, great C-SPAN. It's a real direct feed. Honestly, a lot of your fake news outlets, that's where they pull their feed from, and of course slap on all that mind-bending stream-ins, heart-pounding stuff they do to make it sound, to make it, we'd like to just write straight, nothing too fancy, right where the truth is at, not all hyped up and overloaded.
Let me see here. James. All right, if you guys are not, if you got Twitter and you're following the Patriot Hour, we're doing pretty good over there. One of the people I follow, amazingly, is James Woods. He doesn't act anymore. Somebody asked him on here the other day, when are we going to see you in another movie? And he said something about, you'll see me in another movie when, like, shit's fixed.
When I'm, yeah.
He's all in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 illegals a day. Chuck, enough is enough. You should hang your head in shame. He took a nice moment photo there when Chuck was hanging down.
Mm-hmm. I liked his last little post he just posted up.
What?
The one at the very top.
Because they've run out of zoo animals to eat.
So screwing is a way to fill the void, maybe. That's a good little meme. Genocide Relief Act. Think about that, people.
See, he's even posted on what we just talked about. New FBI recommended Michael Flynn not have lawyer present during the interview. Did not warn of false statement consequence. And then he puts Miranda? Question mark. Miranda rights?
Yeah, your Miranda rights. You know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you can and will be held against you in a court of law.
How about this, Chris Stockton? California wants to tax text messages now to fund free phones for illegals. Sorry. Low-income users.
Low-income users. Wow. Yeah.
And they're saying that another article I read said, I don't know, bankrupt California now looking to tax text.
And it's interesting because when they had the whole medical marijuana come out and that was really going, weren't they the powers that be in California really screaming that they have they're debt free, they're done, this is a huge thing, they've made a big huge money out of it, and they paid off some of their debts, and they were actually giving loans to other states when it first kicked off. And where is all this abundant funds? Where has all this funds gone? Definitely not back to the Californians and their roads and their keeping their forests clear and ready to go. It's just interesting.
Migrant groups demand Trump either let them in or pay them each
like $50,000 or something like that.
50G.
Yeah. They were getting the taste off the Soros money. They liked suckling from that teative money.
Right here. It may seem like a lot of money to you, somebody told the paper, but it's a small sum compared to everything the United States has stolen from Honduras.
Why didn't you hear a Honduras government say that? Haven't we been protecting you guys for a long time? Shouldn't we say, well, you actually, every citizen in Honduras owes $100,000, and that's going to go back to the American people because of the protection that American people and our government subsidiaries have been giving you for years and years and years and years.
Exactly. All right, so we got almost 1,100 followers now on the Patriot Hour. Folks, it's doing real well every time we post a video. What did I
really happy? Yeah, keep on getting it out there. Keep on doing the thumbs up. And this is just another avenue to get the truth and to get this information out.
Here's what I wanted to show you guys. Nika. It must have blocked me. I don't know how to spell the name. Nika. Let's see here.
So definitely interesting. Giving a shout out to you guys. A little bit Lisa Miller, El Tsuda, Amy, for course. All of our moderators have been coming in this just last couple of hours or so. Beautiful. Thanks to all you guys. Definitely check out Amy's channel and Ellie 1978, Elle and her channel. There's a lot of good information out there for you guys. No matter what you're doing. There you go. Brzezinski.
This is a idiot lady yesterday that made the comment "butt boy" about Mike Pompeo. So she made a real homosexual comment, which they all don't like. And she put
stool pigeon.
Totally
all
agree
kinds of
with
stuff.
you. Super bad choice of words. I should have said water boy, like for a football team or something like that. And I had commented in here, not good enough for Roseanne to apologize, or actually anyone that's not on their team that has said something wrong has lost their livelihood, jobs. But these people can just, blow it off with an apology and it works. It seems she should lose her job.
Look at some of what the words she said. I mean, not even afterwards. Like, oh, super bad choice of words. So sorry. My bad. Like if somebody else of a different persuasion, or what if a male said that, a Republican, white male? Oh my gosh. That's cause for World War III in the media for this guy. You see what he just called him? Chris Stockton, what's up, brother? California is $2 trillion in debt. And I agree with you. I like your depiction, the California, California type thing. Yeah, it is run by lunatics. Some of what they're saying. Now I heard this is out to you, Mr. Chris. What's going on with ammunition? Is there anything laws or any stuff kind of in there in California to do with ammunition, buying, having some? I was hearing some stuff. I didn't do much research at all. It was real surface. So I don't know if you knew anything like that, or anybody else that's coming from California, if they had little tidbit on if they're doing like an ammunition ban or no longer selling or something, or a proposal. I don't think it went through, obviously, because that kind of falls on our constitutional rights. But that won't be the first time they've tried to ease them from out underneath us under the guise of protecting us.
Yeah.
Robert Melendez, yeah, the Patriot Hours video on the Navy SEALs. Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah, you're talking. This is the best of the best. They don't call it special operations for nothing. I mean, you guys, some of what you guys do, and I mean every branch has their elite force of warriors, and you guys. And you share a very, very unique bond to say you come from that. So it's always an honor to be able to highlight the operators and what they do, because these are the people who are at the tip of the spear. And it's good to have you with us as well. And back at it and still on the fight, brother.
That's right. That's right, brother. All right, I'm just looking here, folks, see if anything unique or interesting or just
comes out and punches you in the face of breaking news. Let me do a little bit of a quick-fill myself.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much of anything right now.
What about...
Look at the Q map. Get rid of Evergreen. Reset that.
Not really.
All right, still a stress test failure, folks. So, all right, we'll go a few more minutes here, and we're going to shut this down, and then look for the live Clinton Foundation hearing today. We're going to have Tom Fenton, probably tons of juicy information coming out, folks, that you don't want to miss. If you want to get the tidbits from the Patriot Hour later, or, you know, what you can get out of the media, otherwise, listen for yourself if you have the opportunity to. That's always huge.
I would agree. I mean, that's when you look at this kind of stuff. So this is interesting. Let me just, I guess, in my closing statement, I'll have to put this out here, which is really interesting, and I like how this was saying when it comes to a stress test, when it comes not only that you can apply this, because I'm thinking this last one, where does it leave us with? You can say, now this is in regard to like nuclear stuff, but it's the same concept of applying stuff, and we can probably put this as a nuclear stress test is one of the several types of stress tests that may be performed alone or in combination. Compared with an exercise stress test, a nuclear stress test can have better determine your risk of a heart attack or other cardiac event if your doctor knows or suspects that you have a coronary artery disease. So this is in the fact of how they can test if you have bad heart stuff, right? The same idea is to performing on these deep state, and this even obviously the Q-Chan board, and it's, you know, just realized that I think this also can be a duality. In my own personal opinion, that there's been multiple stress tests on the deep state and the way they've been operating, and their old regimes or the old way of doing things is starting to get broken up, because now those of us who were asleep or are now awake, we're starting to kind of see how they function, and we see the lies so quickly that we're no longer having to stress out about what's happening. Is this real? That's real. We can see it's coming to us very, very easy now, because we've gone through that, I guess, point of stressing oneself out to get a new idea of the world around them. So just interesting little side aspect of that. And, you know, it's very interesting of what's going to be coming in just a matter of weeks, people. Just a couple of weeks.
I'm actually on here in the 4 or the 8 chan on the Q Research where the original drops happen. And on that post, you know, /N stress test failed. One of the people in here put, I got some errors as well, but it works so much better than the last time we did this. But of course, when all the normies are coming, the board does collapse. So it looks like it has to do with the board. And
of course, I agree
100%.
Yes. The influx of people coming on to the board, and the board not handling that amount of people coming on at one time.
A lot of 502 errors.
Oh, okay. Check it out on the ammo thing, by the way. On the side note, thank you, Chris, for getting back to us. You're awesome. Chris says they propose an ammo license. So a license on top of it have ammo, and he said it failed. But he also gave a little caveat: can't use lead ammo at all to hunt, which is interesting. Very interesting.
So after January 1st, the stores must have it all locked up.
Wow. What's the primary ingredient for 98% of the rounds out there? What do you think a bullet's comprised of? Lead. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, definitely know. I mean, what a great example of knowing what's happening in your local area, how to prepare for what's coming down the pike, not only on a national level, but what's coming down on a local level. Mike and I try to be aware of what was happening in our area, not only the voting where we're voting at. We live in different areas, so being aware of what's happening, in my neck of the woods, and what's happening in my town is the power going out in certain areas because there's a storm coming, but down south it's still just fine.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for sure. Yeah, you answered my question. I knew something was happening with the ammunition, and I just didn't know the details. And of course, Mike and I and the team here, Phil, you're our veteran patriot with boots on the ground there in California. So who better to ask than the person who's living it right now? So yes, you answered my question. Thank you so much, brother. Keep on the good fight, by the way. Robert Melendez, yes, doing your own gunsmithing, or not so much gun, but reload. You can use different types of exotic metals. Definitely get into reloading, people. That's always a good thing as well. More self-sufficiency, if you feel you can get your hand on that, then that's something definitely, because you can start playing around with the grainages and the weights and how your round travels, and you can start dialing in real precise, very precise.
I'm just going through tons of photo or videos here, looking at stuff. Another idea,
Paula B
folks,
says,
is...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, Paula B says, why you use lead? I think California banned that when I still live there. Are you asking why they still use lead in ammunition? Or why would you still... I think California banned it when I still live there. I would be interested to see. Yeah, I don't know. I know last time I was in California, I expended an exorbitant amount of lead in the desert. So, and that was a few years ago. So I got not up to date.
Remember that?
Yours evil company.
Evil company.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let me see here. All right, we'll go ahead and shut this down, folks. We got about hour and a half, hour 45. I'll have a feedback up for and I'll name it appropriate. It'll be the live Clinton Foundation feed. After that, or maybe a hair before it kicks off, I'll jump in, talk to you guys, and afterwards, who knows? Just depends. But definitely that time block will be up. So make sure you check that out. Any last closing words, Ben? I'll give you a little second here.
Just kind of craziness. Definitely a little thanks to Mr. Chris Stockton for the boots on the ground, for those questions on the ammunition. And if you see something, say something. Be aware of what's going on in your environment, and definitely locally. We know big things are coming down the pike, and the January 1st of 2019 is not that far away. And the dates beyond that, there's other dates coming, but this is going to be a very exciting time. This is a time for, I guess, individual accountability about where you're standing at in a lot of things, and where you're positioning yourself and your family. Mike and I always pray that, all your veterans and the patriots here that watch the channel or even watch this particular episode, that, your families are blessed and you guys are safe. And we pray that, God gives you the wisdom you need to protect your family and those around you and your area. So with that, I say Godspeed and bless you guys. Thank you.
All right, that was Ben. It's always a pleasure to have him in studio, beaming in studio, however we can get him to join the show. It's a pleasure for you guys, our pleasure. He'll be back later. We'll be back later. I'm going to leave you guys with this as well. I'm let him, what he had said was perfect. So just do your own research, folks. Connect your own dots. That's what we promote here. Think for yourself, do for yourself. Never let anyone drive you. Those who try to drive you are just, steer clear. All right, here we go. A little video we made a few months ago. You guys enjoy, and then we'll shut this down.
Come and knock on your door. They are coming for you. Where indictments are hers and his and yours, evil company too.